Need some chatter? I've got plenty to go around. Bye now.
If you're looking to drown your worries at the bottom of a bottle, this is the place for you. I'm Gert and Oscar, and this is my establishment. But if you're looking for the Victor's Brew, we don't sell that in Asker's Alley, and you'll have to take your business elsewhere. The ambassadors requested that facilities be created where flesh and blood folks could put their feet up. Not that the Fae know what that means. So the Allmain approached my family about starting a tavern. The alley does well, but I'm no businessman. I know better than to criticize the Fae. They call us children of dust. We treat them like people, but they're like no people I've ever met. This city has been here for thousands of years. Longer than that, even. It will be here long after we're gone. I wouldn't say I ran from the war. I just don't need to know every little thing that's going on. There are other ways to help. Getting folks drunk is one of them. Oh, yes, sorry. The United Merchants Delegation. It's a coalition of traders that have been granted permission to sell their wares in Issa. There's a brewery near Rathir that makes it. Very small, very secretive. But they've found their niche, that's for certain. Cheap and powerful. It's not a drink for the man who appreciates craftsmanship, tradition. It just helps the soldiers forget all they've been through. It's the most popular drink in Amalur, at least it is now. My Asker's Ale used to be the preferred beverage, but every day brings more cancelled orders. My brother and I are working on a new drink, but it requires something special. Wait a minute. Maybe you could help. If you do, I could see to it that the merchants in Issa treat you well. So here's what we're thinking. Bring back our grandmother's favorite, Asker's Draft, a classic. The recipe calls for bristletongue seeds, and if you're talking rare ingredients, bristletongue tops the list. It's worthless for potions, but tastes fabulous. The problem is that the Fae control the use of bristletongue, as it's a product of the Font's waters. Talk to Jackson, their apothecary. He can probably get it for us. It's been in our family for 4 generations, since the days of Almir the Bold. Our grandmother entrusted us with the formula, and we made a fortune from it. But I'm afraid we've been replaced by a new drink. Almir the Bold was the first king of the Almain. He brought us out of lawlessness and misery. We've always wanted to name a drink after him. He spends his time in the Lyceum Grove in the Understyle section of town. He's an odd duck, always crafting new tonics. Some advice? Don't drink any. See you soon.
Hello, I am Ambassador Calder of the Almain. We may be new to the region, but we are just as involved in matters of the Fae and the war. It is simply an honor to be here. We Almain are doing our part for the war effort, but there are plenty of other relationships to forge far from the battlefields. Like most of my kin, I have humble roots. My parents were both trappers on the Snaketail River, feeding much of Whitestone Village back before it fell on hard times. Despite my position as lead ambassador to the Summer Court, I am an outsider. There is bad blood between some of the races. As a result, I try to steer my own course. I do not wish to speak ill of other diplomats, but Ambassadors Keen and Brenner of the Alphard and Virani are plotting against each other, as if we need more deception. The Almain are new to diplomacy, but there are still several powerful titles available for purchase. Like Almir the Bold, whomever carries this title must lead others along the righteous path. I proclaim you the Warden of Light. Carry on.
Have a nice day. I met with the Court of Summer just recently. Tarion was quite gracious, although he didn't grant any of my requests. Greetings.
What do you want? Aren't you bold? This is the Virani Wing of the Embassy, and few venture here without being summoned. I am Ambassador Odvar, he who bloodies the waters. I have served my people for 40 years, in war and in peace. Now I serve here, in the Gardens. It is here where the important battles are fought, the Battle of Wills. I enjoy it. As always, the Virani will try. I have lived in less hospitable places. The Fae may not understand what it means to be mortal, but they certainly have an eye for beauty. The High King knows why we are here, yet he does nothing. Our people die at the hands of the Tuatha, Fae, but the Fae themselves show no remorse. Titarian and the Summer Court will know our anger, and they will aid us or perish. I don't have time for this.
I am Ambassador Brenner. If you wish to deal with the Virani, I am your contact. This is not a life I chose, here in this fetid swamp of a city. I was raised on the sea, an adventurer and warrior. I survived, and that made me what you see before you. They don't deserve the breath I waste on them. There are powerful warriors in their ranks, but as a group they share no collective spine. They have no reason to fight. I do not enjoy this position, talking instead of fighting, speaking of the enemy instead of facing them, but I have a job to do, and I will do it.
I have titles.
I apologize, but one of my station has many obligations to attend to. Please, excuse me.
Welcome to the Embassy, young one. I am Scholar Icob of the Domus Politica. What brings you to my chamber? I've known the Almain. There's much to be gained from an alliance with the Summer Court, although I can't say I enjoy working with Fae directly. They're too set in their ways, too rigid. They've already grown and changed. The Tuatha themselves are a new breed of creature. Fascinating amalgam that should be explored. We have a unique interest in the Fae, but I cannot explain further. I will say this. Their supposed immortality poses a problem to all mortals. The scholars in Odessa have a keen interest in gaining High King Titarian's trust and cooperation. There's so much to learn from him. A flighty creature. During my audience with the king, he forgot my name not once, but twice. It was insulting. But did he notice? Never. I've had a long career as an ambassador with the Domus Politica, and as a clerk in the Grand Bursars. But the real work will be done out here, in the wider world. We find them endlessly fascinating, in their ambition, in their magic, and in their disregard for the natural order. We could learn much from such creatures. Very well. A sign of greatness is to be many things to many people. To never let one role define you. We in the Domus Politica take such honors very seriously. Of course, it's one simple service I can provide. Perhaps with time and effort, you will one day reside. We all must consider our farewell.
Let me guess. You're here to buy a title. No? A bribe, is that what you want? Listen to me. I'm no one's plaything. I apologize. Forgive me. Sometimes the work in this place is too much. I thought Isa would be different, but it's just another nest of snakes. I don't believe the Fae see the Losselfar and Dokulfar as separate groups. They tend to view the world in strict generalities, along bloodlines and origins. Sometimes working alongside the Dokulfar is difficult, but we have an arrangement. They adhere to their goals and methods, and we adhere to ours. You think I want to be here, stuck in this giant vegetable? Never. My mother volunteered me for this position, and I had no choice. I have a young soldier back home who waits for me. But can I be with him before he sails? No. I have to administer to the Fae. The war is the only reason I'm not still resisting my appointment. Something must be done. You know it as well as I do. The Fae must help. Who knows our enemy better? Do yourself this one favor and leave this place as quick. I understand. Well, I can offer you the traditional Alpha titles that are available at the embassy. This one is worn by our most secretive scouts and agents. It is a good choice. I proclaim you the Dark Hunter. Bye then.
Our days are hard, petitioning the court, pleading with the High King.
Enidon
Then we
grant
must
you
do what
justice.
needs to be done.
Perhaps we must finally swallow our dignity and draw our swords. Quiet. We must not discuss this further in the open. You must be the special messenger Titarian's expecting. Trust me, the rest of us have heard plenty about it. Erwin can't keep his big mouth shut. I am Methani Keen, Dokulfar ambassador to the Summer Court Fae. I'm sorry. This is a difficult position sometimes. They are a council of Fae nobles that advise the High King in matters of politics. Not that they even understand what that means. To them, politics is just a game. Well, more of a game than usual. You understand my meaning. This is where the Fae hide us to keep us out of sight. I used to take offense, but I got over it. I wouldn't want to live near them. Strange things, the Fae. Issa is fine, and the Fae. I've met with him several times. I'll admit, he radiates a certain presence, but I'm less interested in charisma than I am in leadership. Something is about to happen, and it must be stopped. But that is all I can say. This is neither the time nor the place. If you're interested in hearing my story, meet me in the worship circle after dark, near the gates. I will wait for you there. She is no politician. She is a warlord, and a cruel one. I've heard stories that would make your heart brittle. She was sent here for one reason alone, to bring down Issa. This is not the place. I will meet you in the time and place I specified. Goodbye.
Mark my words, the Summer Court will end its neutrality by its own hand. Or someone else's.
He won't stay. No one does.
Let Brit fill your pipe! Honor brands!
You should come by town later tonight. That's when...
I hope you're here about the job. Demand is higher than ever. I'm just too busy to deal with anything else. Sure. You want to know about me? It's understandable. You want to know who you're going into business with. A wise move. Very wise. My mother was a merchant in Rathir, and I learned the trade at her side. I took the apprenticeship with Gwen a hand, mostly to get me into Issa. Now I'm on my own. What do I know of Fae politics? I can sum up the war in one word. Folly. It is folly. You will see. Everyone will see. You think I like being confined to this cage? Think again. And after all we've done for them in this war, ungrateful creatures. It's safe, that's for sure. At least she's the general merchant in the United Merchants delegation down the road. We've been friends for years now, I believe. A good, honest one, that Gwenna. Not just anyone can enter the secret city of the Fae. Oh no. You need an ambassador's endorsement and written authorization, and that's just to be in the lottery. Those in the United Merchants are the lucky ones. Of course, once you see how much gold they actually make in Issa, you will no longer envy them. Making a fortune is what? These visitors come with obscene amounts of gold or treasure. They don't mind parting with it. My plan was brilliant. I created a blade. Fae blade, of course, that makes them authentic. Something all of them had to have. That's all they care about anyway. Fae souvenirs. I called it the Honor brand. Truth be told, it's dull as a stick, but it's easy to make. Listen, if you can find the parts and make them, I'll pay good money. Fabulous. Fabulous! You know a good deal when you see it. There aren't enough people like you in Issa. The Fae don't even use money. Can you imagine? Once you start forging the Honor brands, bring them to me and I'll provide you with just compensation. There should be plenty of parts around the city. For creatures with no interest in possessions, they sure know how to collect a fair amount of junk. Bring me something nice. Doesn't look like you've had any luck. Keep an eye out for parts.
Presenting the blade in the shadow, Her Grace the Dark Huntress.
Get to know your blade here. You've been watching me long enough. What is it? Did I wrong you in another life, sister? If you're willing to spare the gold, I can teach you what I know. In this battered old skull is a lifetime of knowledge. I have no interest in this war. It is besides, could there be a better... I can't say the peace edict has hurt me. What you've no doubt heard is correct. I am the Holt Friend. I forged Bolgan's Bane of the Caled Coast, and many other legendary pieces. My youth was spent as a mercenary, but I have since renounced those ways. Unfortunately, my enemies have long memories, and they aren't as forgiving as I am. It is an ancient Alfar kingdom far across the sea in the dense swamps of Cluricon. I once helped its great lords overcome a terrible Bolgan problem. Let the Fae try to stop me from carrying arms in the city. Weapons are my trade, my only expertise. It'd be like asking a hen to stop laying eggs. Farewell.
Need anything? I've got the best...
Mark my words. The Summer Court will end its neutrality by its own hand. Or someone else's.
If you're looking to buy armor, I'm the only one in Felltown who's authorized to sell it. I'm Gwen a Hand, but my customers call me Gwen. I don't have many weapons to offer, on account of the peace edict, but there's still a selection to pick through. Have at it. He's a dear friend from years ago. He spent time as my apprentice, but recently set out on his own. He sells authentic ritual Fae blades outside in the square. The Tuatha were intensive. This is where the Fae keep us, so we don't... Being here isn't good for business. My twin brother and I were entering the army to fight for the Alfar when I panicked. I couldn't. I'm not a fighter. I came to Issa instead. I'm not proud of running, but I'm much more useful here, as an unofficial ambassador of sorts. Not everyone's a fighter. The Fae didn't have laws, at least not official ones, until we arrived. Now they insist that those of us who live in Issa must keep its peace. No weapons. It must be one of the special exemptions. Let me guess. Ambassador? Scholia Arcana? Could be anything. Nice talking. It's been slow today. Nice to see someone who's interested come back again.
Hey there. I heard Issa's very tense these days. What with the... Get over here. We don't abide by strangers in Issa. In this city, everyone is family. If you want to get around the peace edict, you'll have to keep your voice down. It's not exactly the key. It's better than the cellar crawl. You know, that neighborhood in the gnome city of Odessa where the poor live. Oh, it's a lot of fun. Well, if you're on the market for something the dockside district in Rathir is a lovely place. If you're looking to have your throat cut or contract a nasty disease. Remember it next time you travel there. Not much to tell. Heard the war horn of the recruiters and packed my bags. Slipped out in the dead of the night, I did. And I'm proud of it. What good is fighting when the Tuatha don't die? Besides, I'm a businessman. I got my hand on a pass into Issa, and the rest has been waterfalls and walks by the river. Farewell.
Let Brit fill your pockets! Had some luck, did you? Let's talk gold. How many did you bring me? Yes, you've done well. Take this gold. It's a fair share of what I'll make selling these beauties. It's you and me, friend.
Kings and nobles. Bah!
Hello, child. Do you have the authority to be here? The gardens of Issa are for the privileged few with papers.
Tell me of the authorities' gifts.
Mithoru is the branch and the root, the moon and tides. His order is supreme.
Tell me of the authorities' gifts.
Mithoru is the
Good. You've come. I'm sorry to make you wait like this, but what I mean to discuss is very sensitive. It involves treachery. Despite the calm you see around you, the gardens of Issa are on the brink of war, and the question is, which one will it be? There are plans being made to seize this city. The Virani are displeased with the Court of Summer's lack of support for their people, and they wish to overthrow Tatarian and force the remaining Fae to fight. We can prevent this, but we must act now. If saving your people isn't enough, we can pay you as a reward. The Virani cannot stomach Tatarian's neutrality. They believe that his Fae subjects could be convinced to march with us on the battlefield. I believe this as well. But I would never resort to violence. The Virani wish to turn Issa into a military camp. We cannot let that happen. It will ruin all our people have achieved here. Of course, it is the right thing to do. The leader of the plot is the Virani ambassador, Brenner. Every night, the ambassador strolls Memory Walk, alone. She carries a pair of daggers. Take them. Afterwards, dispose of them. Destroy them. Salvage them. I don't care. Return to me when it is done. The Virani communicate secretly using weapons. They engrave codes into the blades of daggers and swords, and that way, they can get them through a typical search. We believe this particular pair of daggers describes the defenses of Issa, where it's strong and where it's weak. The Virani are plotting, and they will act. She spends most of her time in the embassy, but in the evenings, she enjoys a leisurely stroll through Memory Walk. Try there after dark. Goodbye.
Watch your back.
Greetings.
How may I serve you, Your Eminence? I have... It is a glorious day. Don't bring your dark horror here to Issa.
Oh, excellent. Another... Oh, a mortal. I don't think I could... Oh, why, you're the ruler of the House of Ballads. How extraordinary. You wouldn't be interested in aiding a mere squire, would you? It is well beyond your station to do so, but, well, I faced quite the predicament. I enjoy my role as steward,
But my fear of Lady Olana overshadows any pleasure I might find in the tasks assigned to me. She is quite critical. Well, I've never met him, of course. Such an honor is not granted to squires. But they say he is quite incredible. As tall as a tree and radiating a great light, as though a sun burned within him. The birds sing to herald his glory. She is well suited to her role as the Lady of Receivership, as she enjoys judging the worth of others. She has assessed me as well, and I have been found lacking. I am steward of the High King's list, and apprentice to the Lady of Receivership. Olana will be so displeased once she finds out I failed her so. Few dustlings ever make their way to these gardens. I believe they fear us, as they fear the elements. As they should. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you not like to be called dustlings? My role is with the Hall of Appointments, to prepare visiting ambassadors and dignitaries to meet with the Court of Summer. Right now, there are 4 terrible, regal lords and ladies that wish to see High King Tatarian. But they are a fickle lot and require extra, handling. They must enter the font in a procession, but each has his or her own preferences, and I can't afford to offend any of them. Wonderful. That's one less aggravation that demands my concern. Thank you, mortal. The dignitaries have been seen about the gardens, enjoying its many splendors. I will remain here and await your advice. Everywhere. Goronet is in the Hall of Appointments, but the others are all over the city. What a nightmare. Farewell, Honorable One.
We ask that you do not disturb our reverie.
Yes, what do you want? I take this responsibility very seriously.
This is not your place, Dustling. You are not meant to be here. Mortals have no place on the font. I am guardian of the Court of Summer and protector of the font. I watch over the most precious of the city's blossoms, including the rare bristle-tongue bloom. Its petals open once every few seasons, lifetimes for mortals such as you. But its seeds are potent and volatile, hence my vigil. The court communes in the building behind. I patrol the gardens near the font during the daylight hours, but must return to reverie at twilight, as do all my kind. It is a powerful communion between the Fae and the magic that sustains us. We come together in the evening hours to connect and to feel as one. Many believe that the font supplies all of the western Fae lands, the realm of the Summer Court, with their magic. Its flow touches all of us with its gifts. You must go now.
Don't test me.
High King Tatarian is waiting for you. Please place the codex before him, and he will continue. You have nothing to fear in His Majesty's presence. He has entered a reverie. It will allow him to unravel the memories and visions contained within the Codex. Step forward, and His Majesty will reveal what you wish to know.
You're making quite the impact, aren't you?
Conceived in chaos, birthed in stolen magic, torn from fate, child of two fathers, treacheries in treacheries, winter is broken. The puppet king upon his throne, drinking flattery and lies. The power that grows in him is not his own. In the east it did begin, as it will end. From behind the veil she screams. Madness and rage. Madness and rage. We realize this may be confusing for you. Fate, like the Fae, cannot be changed. But the Tuatha are Fae who have become something new. And you are a mortal who is free from Fate's weave. Gadflow claims that the Tuatha are the work of his new god. If the Tuatha are the creations of a god, what does that make you? The time of the Fae is passing. Our land and our souls are diminishing. Few Fae even realize that the great cycle is shifted. Gadflow's war means the death of us all, Fae and mortal alike. It is written in the weave that we shall all pass from this world together. It is too late for us, but not for you. That is the fate which I look to you to change. The power of a god in the brash hands of a mortal. This is why Niralim fears what you might become. This age has seen much change. Change we once thought was impossible. We were wrong. You are intertwined with the power in the East. There can be no doubt of that. Your energy reaches back to Alabastra. We do not know what will happen when you travel there, but we know that the power behind Gadflow is your ultimate goal. His god holds your answer and the fate of this world. I thank you, and perhaps you can help change our world's fate as well. I have seen those who were destined to be heroes, for whom great deeds came naturally. They come, they act, and they pass on as written. You do great things not because you must, but because you choose to. That is by far a far truer greatness. You are right. No one can force this upon you. Such is the true power of freedom. But the Tuatha and their god will continue to seek you out, and they will find you. When they do, know that while you may be unbound by fate, death can find you still. To fight it, you must assemble allies. Seek their aid to assemble your forces. Only then can you hope to resist the forces arrayed against you. The weave is a puzzle. Each person is a piece, the edges of their fate locking together with the people around them, all performing their duties to form a grand picture. However, you are no longer a puzzle piece. You are a dollop of paint. You cover and redefine the edges of the puzzle pieces you meet. But more dangerously, you repaint the picture of reality itself. Who can trust that your design is better than the original? It is the deepest tragedy that our fall should come from our own. Make no mistake, Gadflow is the harbinger of the end of my kind. In fighting him and his army, you will surely spell our doom. For that tragic truth, we forgive you. We are the dreams of warmth and safety, given physical form. But these dreams are endangered by Gadflow and the long winter. Since our kind returned to this world so long ago, it has been my honor to serve as High King of the Summer Court. My rule was always shared with the High King of the Winter Court, until Gadflow arose. Now both of our people are in peril. The Summer and Winter Courts have always ruled the Feylands in harmony, as the seasons wash across the world. But with Gadflow's new god, something changed. The Winter Fae who followed him called themselves Tuatha, and bore a mark of Prismir upon them. Their power has grown, and yet they are diminished. Our cold cousins across the sea. Do not think the Winter Court are enemies, for we love them as family, dismal though they may be. Oh, to walk in their starlit gardens once again, or sip their calming stone tea. But the Tuatha have consumed them, and all of their wonders are lost.